know how we giving it up. It's your boy Jumpout L.O, and you tuned in with Check Your Mental each and every Monday. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's blessed, highly favored. Just thanking God for another day, man. He was generous to us and gave us another day of life. So we got to honor him and return that favor. Right? So with that being said, we're going to jump right into it, right? And something that I noticed with me, with just my parents growing up and seeing the things that they did around me. And it made me realize that as a parent, you got to be mindful of what you're teaching your kids, or be mindful of what you're saying to your kids. Because, some of these things can harm them. For me, I remember in my household, it was always saying, don't trust nobody, don't trust no friends, you don't friends. But they never really give you an explanation why. They just kind of say, nah, don't deal with friends, don't trust nobody. And you jump in the world kind of like, nah, I'm getting away from everybody. You don't get to learn from people. You don't get to do nothing because you're in a shell of fear. So they install fear in as an infant. You're installing fear into your kid. You're already putting fear early in the game. You're installing fear of people you shouldn't trust versus talking to them and explaining to them. Like, hey, once they have enough sense to have a conversation, telling them about, hey, this is the reason why you should be careful choosing your friends. Be careful while you're around. Be careful you don't want to associate yourself with this person because it is this and this. Just be careful picking your friends. Be careful before you label somebody a friend. Look for these qualities and just be careful. But just to flat out tell them you don't trust nobody, you're installing fear into your kid, and living life off fear destroys you. You can never grow to your full potential if you have fear. Also, one thing that in a Spanish household is common, your parents, they might make fun of you or have jokes on you. And again, you're creating insecurities onto that kid. I remember they used to call me El Gordito. That means fat boy when I was younger. And it was a cute little nickname, but I remember as a kid, I hated it. And I always wanted to be skinny because of it. And I hated when they called me El Gordito. I used to hate it with a passion. But again, some of these little cute names that you guys think are cute, you're installing, you're programming fear and insecurities into your kid's life. Because now, for me, look at my insecurity. I ain't want to be fat. Nothing wrong with being big bone. If you big bone, you big bone. But I had an insecurity because I always felt like, skinny people are better, or you look better when you're skinny.
Like yourself less?
Yeah, I didn't like myself chubby. I always not. And you see now, I try, even to this day, it shows because I try to work out. I try to keep myself at a certain weight. And I remember one time in my life when I was on drug court and I gained all this extra weight. I remember being stressed out, like, yo, I gotta lose this weight. I did not like it. But that goes back to that insecurity that was installed from a kid. You know what I mean? Now I'm aware of these things, and now it's like, okay, now I do things about it. But imagine the people that aren't aware that you're installing these fears, or the people that aren't aware of their own insecurities. You know what I mean? And they go living life like this. As a parent, you need to be more supportive of your kids. I've noticed, I went to a couple football games, and I noticed the lack of parents supporting their kids at the game. Give or take, to their defense, they're busy at work or busy doing something. But again, give them time. Take a day from not doing overtime and make it to their game. I can understand you're tired from work. Make a little sacrifice for them. You don't know the difference and the motivation and the encouragement that you're going to do when they see their parent cheering for them on that field. You don't see that enough in our community. You don't see parents being more present, and not because they don't want to. It's because they're at work. They're at work all the time. So find a balance where you don't have to take the extra overtime hours, or just Find a way, man. I'm not saying it's impossible, but make time for your kids. If it's a will, is a way. Make time for their games. Make time to be more supportive of what they got going on. Also, with that, in that same aspect, be more of a positive role model. Understand that your kids are watching you. So what are you doing? If you're a younger parent, be careful on what you're posting online, because that could affect your kids. At a certain age, you got to be very mindful of the things that you do and say, because that could affect your kid, or even the way you carry yourself. Because if you have a teenage boy and you're posting certain pictures online, he's going to have to, and then somehow, some way, they get a hand of that. He has to put up with that when he goes to school. The shame and the embarrassment. Again, these are the things that you're installing on your kid now. And you're installing shame, you're installing fear, you're installing embarrassment. So you got to be really careful how you be around your children, what you be around your kids, because kids grow up wanting to be just like you. Assure your kids that you love them. Assure them that you love them. Tell them. Not just buy them things. Not just, I'm going to buy you this, I'm going to buy you that. No, assure them that you love. Give them affirmation. I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm happy that you did this. Because you know what's going to happen when you don't do that? They're going to grow and they're going to look for that validation elsewhere. And it's not going to look like that. It's going to look like, yo, good looking, my boy. I like how you shot my mans up. It's going to come from a man that's going to want to sleep with your daughter and saying deceitful things. That's what love is going to look like, because they're looking for that validation that you never gave them. So again, validate your kids. Tell them you love them. Tell them you care for them. Tell them, encourage them to be them. And don't force your dreams to them. Let them be free. We live in an era that kids are expressing themselves and they're becoming young entrepreneurs. Don't force school into them. If you see that they have a business that could blossom and they could make a career out of it, don't install that fear. That's your fear. So when you talk about passed down traumas, you try to pass down your fears that you had to me, because you didn't succeed at being a businesswoman, or you didn't have that passion or that drive to take that initiative to open up that business. So you want to install that fear. Fear is not from God. God did not put fear in our hearts. He put love, he put light, he put encouragement. So that fear that you're installing is not coming from God. So what are you teaching your kids? Again, let's empower our children to be better. The most important thing that I'll say is develop a healthy relationship talking. Develop a habit that you take time out your day to talk to your kid. 15, 20 minutes, ask them everything about their day, what they're going on. Talk to them about, even when they start experiencing, talk to them about sex. Talk about these things with them so they won't have to go elsewhere to try to experience it or try to jump the gun and live fast. Because you want to base a relationship based on respect and not fear. Your kids should respect you, not fear you. Because when they fear you, they're going to do things behind your back because they fear you. But when they respect you, they're going to come to you and say, hey, Dad, I messed up. Because you built that bond and you built that relationship to make you guys better. So, with that being said, you tuned in with Check Your Mental. And parents, be mindful of your kids. Give them some time. Talk to them. Encourage them. Don't be so hard on them. Don't be your parents to them. Be different. Let's break the molds. Let's break the chains. It's up to us. The chains break with us. So you tuned in with Check Your Mental. It's your boy Jumpout L.O. I'm out.